Just how lonely is a cricketer at 99 or 199? There are not many in India who are qualified to answer that question, but of the few, one of them is my guest today. He's the new star of the Indian cricket team. His name is VVS Laxman. Welcome to the program, Laxman.
Pleasure, man.
Let's start on March the 14th at Eden Gardens. There you were, poised at 235, just one run away from Gavaskar's 17-year record. How aware were you that you were about to make history?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, I was very much aware that, I had to get 236 runs, because I remember we were doing a program known as STEM along with Gavaskar. It was batsmen versus bowlers on ESPN last summer, and Gavaskar was telling to Sidhu, that it's very unfortunate that no one is able to pass my record. 236 doesn't hold good for any Indian batsman. But at that moment, I was not really thinking about that, because at the start of the 4 days play, me and Rahul, we had decided we had a particular goal of not losing a single wicket on that day. So obviously that was playing in my mind. But it was a great feeling, passing the Legends record.
Was it almost a challenge for you that I'm going to do it one day? A challenge you made to yourself, even if not publicly?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I should accept that.
In fact, you entered the day on 275 not out. That night, did you sleep peacefully, or were you too excited to get to sleep at all?
I was really tired, and I really slept peacefully.
Completely?
Yeah,
Just went straight to bed?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Many people were hoping that you'd go on to get a triple century.
Yeah.
Sadly, the next day you got out for 281.
Yeah.
Were you disappointed yourself?
Not really, because I mean we had 9 to 10 overs before which the team decided we would like to declare, and the Australians they started off with a negative line, bowling outside the off stump and not allowing us to play too many balls, and I mean I had to play some shots to get as many runs as possible. So definitely, and if we wouldn't have won the test match, it would have been disappointing. But I always maintain that my score, it doesn't matter I get 200 or 30, as long as it helps the team to win the test match or a one-day match, I'm more than happy.
So in your eyes, the team victory was the more important thing?
Definitely.
Your own personal achievement was very much second best?
Yeah, that's true.
Nonetheless, Eden Gardens transformed you into a household name, and people are still talking about that incredible innings you played. Looking back on it, do you think it's a sort of turning point in your career?
Well, definitely. I mean, obviously, because 100 in test match, it's definitely a great achievement by an individual. But the most important fact was that everyone in India, they were looking forward to this tour, because I mean, Australians, after the record-breaking 15 test victories, they had come to India with a lot of reputation, and after having a deficit of 274 runs and coming back and winning the test match, and so I think all the people were really happy with the Indian team performance.
Not just that you plucked victory really right out of the jaws of defeat. The other thing that made it so important was that there was another Mr. Laxman in the news that same day, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's true. I even remember, I mean, there was a news article where in the front page of one of the papers it came, "This Laxman makes India proud." So definitely, yeah, I mean, it was a great victory for the team, and I'm really happy for that.
Would you say that at Calcutta for the first time we really got to see what Laxman was capable of?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the great moments, because I always wanted to do consistently well for India, and that was one of the matches where I was able to do that.
But talking about turning points in your career, there was an earlier one just 14 months ago, this time against the Australians in Sydney during the Sydney Test. You were, at that point in time, just dropped from the one-day team,
yeah.
And there was a lot of speculation whether you were going to be able to keep your place on the test side. So when you came out to bat, were you conscious of the fact this is a real crunch, I have to deliver?
Well, I was not thinking on those lines, but I always dreamt of scoring 100 in Australia.
That was a dream?
Yeah, it was always my childhood dream, and I was batting well throughout the series, even though I was not able to convert that form into big scores. I was a little disappointed, because my first tour game I got 100 against Queensland, so directly going and adjusting on the fast bouncy wickets. So obviously I was in good form, but I was not able to transform that into runs, so I mean, Sydney second innings was my last opportunity to do well for India, because to realize my dream, and I thought, once I settle down, I'll just play positive cricket, and I'm really glad that, I've achieved that, and obviously it's a great feeling, because that was my first test 100.
As you say, it was your last opportunity. Let's go through that day, sort of piece by piece as it happened. When you walked out to bat during the second innings, how nervous were you?
Well, to be honest, I was not really nervous, I mean, as I told, I was batting well, and that was my last opportunity to bat in Australia, and all I thought was, I'll play according to the merit of the ball, and I'm not thinking anything, I'm not thinking about the future, neither about the past. I'm just concentrating on the ball and playing my shots, playing my natural game, and that's what I really planned actually.
There's a lot of speculation about a delivery from McGrath that you faced when you were in your early 40s. It hit you straight in your visor,
Yeah.
and people say it changed your attitude to the game. Is that true?
That's not true, but yeah, obviously it was a good delivery from McGrath where I was not able to judge the bounce. It just took off from the good length spot, and but after that, why people say is after that I just started playing lot of shots.
Quite right. Did this give you sort of a new attitude?
No, definitely not, because that's the way I play. Once I settle down, I play my natural game. That is, I'm basically a good stroke player. So as soon as I settle down, I play a lot of shots. I mean, it just happened that after getting it, I just started playing my shots.
The hit didn't help you settle down.
No.
You scored an incredible 167.
Yeah.
It was your first Test century. Looking back, is that one of the happier moments in the game for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as I told I realized my childhood dream of scoring because I just enjoy batting in
But
Australia.
it's amazing. All your childhood dreams fulfill themselves against the Australians. Is that just a coincidence, or do the Aussies bring out the best in you?
I think it's just a coincidence. I would love to do against all the other teams also.
That's another dream.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is the next team that you want to dream against?
I mean, at present, I'm just concentrating on the Zimbabwe series, because as a player and this Indian team, we all are looking forward to the tour because we always want.
So you're going to go one dream at a time.
Yeah, and because we always wanted to win a Test match abroad, Test series. So obviously, we all are looking forward to the Zimbabwe series.
To be honest, you had an incredible year in domestic cricket as well last year, didn't you? If I remember your statistics correctly, 10 centuries, including a triple century, and an average of 134.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you say that the year 2000 was probably one of the best you've had?
Yeah, definitely. It was one of the best season, and for the simple fact that after being dropped from the Indian team, after the South Africa Test match in Bombay, I mean that was a time when I started. I thought that I'll go and play in my normal position, that is the middle order position, and I always dreamt of again winning the Ranji Trophy for Hyderabad. So I'm really happy that that my contribution helped the team to come to the finals. I mean it was unfortunate.
But that's the real incredible thing about your performance last year, both in domestic cricket as well as against the Australians, that it all happened after so many ups and downs, so many moments when things looked just right, and then they drop you from the team. Was it difficult to pull it all together despite the disappointment of being dropped?
Well, I see it as a learning experience. Last 3 to 4 years has been a great learning experience from me, and if I can just inculcate that experience and improve on my game, I'll be more than happy.
Now, the night before you left for the semi-finals of the Ranji Trophy against Karnataka, your father gave you a particular bit of advice, didn't he?
Well, actually, what my father told us, because in the quarterfinals game against the UP, I got 200s in 2 innings, and that helped the team to qualify for the semi-finals. And it so happened, last 4 years, the Hyderabad team has been coming to the semi-final stage, and we've just been knocked out. And as I told, I always dreamt of winning the Ranji Trophy for Hyderabad. And my father just asked me, if you can just, get a 100, and it will help.
Just as casually as that, he
yeah,
was having dinner, he said, by the way, get a
table,
100.
Exactly, on the dinner table, and he told, it will be great help for your team, to qualify for the finals. And I just achieved that,
I know, in fact, you got 353, didn't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
At what point during that knock did you say to yourself, hey, I'm about to fulfill Dad's wishes?
Yeah, obviously, after getting 300, it just came into my mind. Yeah, father asked me, and I got it.
So
but I was more happy that, the team qualified for the finals.
So do you think the next time you go out to play, maybe before you go to Zimbabwe, he should say to you, Laxman, get me 3 triple centuries?
Okay.
Now, when you're batting and you're getting a century or a double or a triple, how important is mental attitude as opposed to just batting skill?
I think that's very important, and for me the most important factor is I always want to do well for the team. So that is my motivation force.
But is the challenge in the brain and in the mind rather than just in the hands?
It's both, it's both. It's a combination of both.
Because it's exhausting to be playing. You're often on the crease for a day, sometimes in Calcutta 36 hours, even longer. How do you prevent tiredness affecting your concentration?
Because as I told you already, I always want to do well for the team, and that's keeps me
But
going.
doesn't everyone want to do well?
Everyone wants to do, obviously,
So how do you convert your desire into success? Because so many other people have the desire, but they don't get the success.
I mean, it's just, I'm very happy, that I was able to transform that, and I'm really very sure that, any individual who's playing for the country or for the state, everyone wants to do well for the team, and it's just that, you have to just apply yourself, and, you have to just concentrate that much hard. And for me, I mean, it was a great pleasure playing in Calcutta and achieving that dream.
Do you talk to yourself when you're on the crease?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What are the sort of things you say to yourself?
Just think about the process, not think about the result, think about the process.
So in a sense, out there in front of the bowler, you create a little world of your own.
Yeah, definitely.
And cut everything else off.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be that, because that's when you're at your peak concentration.
So then let me ask you the question I began this program with. I know that you've got the company of the other batsmen, and I know that there's the entire team in the pavilion cheering you. But at 99, or even 199, how lonely is it to be facing the ball?
You're not lonely at that moment, because a lot of well-wishers are thinking about you. So and at that moment, it's all about concentrating on the ball. That's it.
I'll tell you why I asked, because you've been at that position in 98, oddly enough, against the Australians and again in Eden Gardens. Yeah. You went all the way to 95, and everyone said he's going to get his first century, but you didn't. Yeah. What went wrong? Was it bad luck, loss of concentration, or inexperience?
I think it was a wrong judgment of the ball, because I was playing very positive, and till that moment, and it was just wrong judgment of the ball.
But it was an odd moment to wrongly judge the ball. I mean, you were so close to a century. Was it nerves that made you misjudge the ball?
No, definitely not.
No? No. Do you believe in luck?
Yeah, I do believe in luck, because, I mean, there are a lot of aspects which, control the game, like it may be a good ball from a bowler, or, a brilliant catch, like what happened in Madras Test in the second innings, where we needed another 20 runs and I got it brilliantly caught by Marquardt. So there are others, other factors which affect the game.
Is luck the factor that makes the difference between success and achieving the second century or the third century and getting out at 199?
Yeah, maybe.
Huh? Yeah. So luck is something that has to be on your side.
Definitely,
if you're going to play well.
Yeah, it has to be.
Let's take a break there, Laxman. I want to come back in part 2 and talk to you a little bit about the making of VVS Laxman, the story behind the success sitting in front of me today. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Stick with us. Welcome back. My guest is VVS Laxman. Laxman, let's talk about how it all began. I gather you started playing cricket when you were barely 2. Do you have any memory of those early games?
Yeah, I mean, as any kid in India, I mean, is so passionate about his game, and it was a great hobby for me, and as a kid, I remember I used to play with a lot of the plastic ball and all this stuff, with my friends, with my brother.
Your father said he used to play in the drawing room of the house and practically destroy it.
Yeah, that's true. And actually it all happened, when me, my brother and my mother, we used to go to our grandparents' place every Sunday. And we used to play with my uncle, my mother's younger brother, Baba Krishna Mohan. And actually it was he who spotted talent in me and who told, that I am capable at playing at the highest level.
So in a sense, he's the real mentor behind your game.
Definitely, yes.
He kept pushing you.
Yes.
Now, in those days, the family lived in what's called Nandanam apartments in Hyderabad.
That's true.
I gather there was a large ground attached to the apartment where you would often play cricket.
That's true, yeah. It was just in front of, I mean, there are 3 blocks, and in between the 3 blocks there was a ground, where we used to play. Yeah.
Your father said that on Sunday matches, you would end up being the hero of the side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had a great group of friends, and we used to play not only on Sundays, as soon as we came back from the school, we used to have matches, maybe 5-over matches and all that. So it was a great experience, and it was great fun.
In those days, were you, is it true, more of a bowler than a batsman?
Well, like any kid, you enjoy doing both the stuff. If you want to be a bowler and you just imagine that you're bowling like Kapil Dev, or you're you're batting, and then you imagine like you're batting like Sunil Gavaskar. And yeah, I mean, till my under-19s, I used to bowl regularly. In fact, I opened bowling for Hyderabad at the junior level. And but after that, I was not getting many opportunities as a bowler. But my main focus always was on batting.
So batting was your main interest?
Definitely.
Even though at times you did more bowling than batting?
Yes.
Were you a medium pace bowler?
Yeah, I was a medium pace bowler.
Would you want to bowl still today?
Yeah, definitely. But after under 19, when I went to England to play league cricket, and that's where I started bowling off spinners, and I was not getting ample opportunities as a medium pace bowler for Hyderabad, and that's when I started practicing a lot of off spinners.
Now you said it was your uncle and your grandfather who really encouraged and pushed you. I gather they were also responsible for the fact that you joined what's called the St. John's Coaching Academy.
Yeah, it so happened that St. John's Coaching Academy was just opposite my grandfather's house. And my uncle initiated that, and in summer I used to go and stay with my grandparents and go to the camp in front.
Your father said that you often had to get up at 4:30 in the morning to be able to get to the academy on time. Didn't you ever think of bunking and staying in bed instead?
Never. I mean, because I always enjoyed going to the academy, and like every kid, you're so eager to go for practice, meet all your friends there, and because you love the game so much, yeah, that's true. I mean, I used to get up at 4:30 and look, what's the time, and again go to bed and again get up at 5 o'clock and wake my father because he had to drop me at the bus stand.
You didn't want daddy to oversleep.
No, no, I mean, he himself, he used to be very hardworking. He gets up at about 4:45, 5 o'clock, because he reads a lot of books. He's a doctor by profession.
The other great interest that you had, which is quite unusual for a child, is that you spent a lot of time in those young days reading the Bhagavad-Gita. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, my father's father, he was a Bhagavad-Gita teacher, and he used to come and spend a lot of time, especially during our holidays at our place. And he made it a point that me and my brother recite the Bhagavad-Gita, especially the 12th chapter.
Why the 12th chapter, by the way? What's so important about that?
I think that's, I mean, it covers a lot of philosophical aspect of life, and I'm really not sure, but that's definitely helped me in my life.
And today, when you are playing, do you find that the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita that you learned as a child stands you in good stead?
Oh, definitely, because that helps me to be equanimous, whether it be success or failure. It makes me very equanimous.
Does the Bhagavad Gita make a lot of difference when you're standing in front of a fast bowler, a little nervous and worried?
No, definitely. I mean, it definitely had a great influence in my life. But I always enjoyed batting, especially the fast bowlers. So I just enjoy playing cricket.
You're absolutely right, because the Bhagavad Gita may have made you philosophical, but playing cricket remained your number one. I gather you scored your first century when you were just 12 in the Nutrient Trophy at Vijayawada.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it was actually the under-13 tournament, and that was the first time I was representing Hyderabad. And my first match was against Kerala, and I got 153 there. Yeah,
Did you surprise yourself?
Yeah, a little bit, because getting 150. But again, as I told, I just enjoyed myself, and runs just came along.
Sadly, a lot of the people who wrote about it were very jealous. They kept asking questions about whether you really were 12. How did you react to that?
I mean, as I told, I just enjoyed batting there, and it was a great feeling because that was the first time I was representing the state. So I just didn't think about anything.
But the amazing thing is, even from a young age, you were able to concentrate on what you wanted to do and cut off the comments or the criticisms of other people. You just put them aside.
Yeah, exactly, because I always wanted to concentrate on my game.
When you scored this amazing 153, your parents were on their way to Tirupati, weren't they?
Yeah, actually they were going to attend the wedding of my uncle, Baba Krishna Mohan. Yeah.
The one who used to encourage you?
Exactly.
So how did they find out about this incredible 153?
Actually, it came in the newspapers, that I still have got the paper cutting, it came in the Deccan Chronicle with red bold letters, Laxman smacks done.
That's how they found out?
Yeah.
They read about it in the papers the next day?
That's right, yeah.
And what happened? Did they ring you up?
Yeah, they rang me up in Vijayawada, and they were really happy, because obviously it was a great feeling, scoring my first 100 at the junior level.
The amazing thing is that you weren't just a cricket prodigy as a child. I'm told that at school you were a little bit of a scientist as well.
Yeah, I mean, my school, Little Fire High School, it concentrates more on academics, very famous for academics. But at the same time, the philosophy there was play while you play and read while you read, And I'm really happy that there was a lot of discipline inculcated in me. And I always wanted to become a doctor, and I just concentrated hard on my studies as well, because I mean, whatever time I got away from cricket, I just used to read hard, work hard on my
So
academics.
the other big dream was to be a doctor.
That's right, because my father was my role model, and I wanted to become a doctor like him.
In the 10th standard, you got some incredible results in science, didn't you?
That's right. Actually, I got 98 out of 100 in my 10th class.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
But why did you lose 2 marks? What was that for? Handwriting?
I'm not sure.
Yet the funny thing is, in Telugu, which is your mother tongue, you only got 60. What went wrong with that?
Well, again, I'm not sure. I mean, but yeah, but I always enjoyed, science. As a kid, I always was very much interested in especially the human body. And as I told I was very much interested in becoming a doctor. But Telugu, I mean, I'm not really sure what went wrong, honestly speaking.
There was a real moment, wasn't there, when you were in your teens, between whether you were going to be a doctor or whether you were going to be a cricketer. How did you make up your mind? How did you choose?
Well, I mean, when I entered the college, the junior college, I still wanted, my main aim was to become a doctor. But in the 11th and 12th class, I got so many opportunities, and just I capitalized on my opportunities. And at the end of the 12th, I was almost on verge of playing for Ranji Trophy, and I was selected for the national camp in Bangalore, the under-19 national camp. And that camp exactly clashed with the MSET exam, the entrance exam for obtaining a medical seat. That was a time when I had to decide, and speaking with my parents, my coaches, my uncle, and a lot of senior players, that was the time when I decided, that I'll take cricket as a profession.
In fact, at that very moment, your father helped you resolve this very difficult decision. He gave you some amazing advice, didn't he?
Yeah, both my parents were a great source of inspiration, and they gave me total independence, to choose my own career, because they always said it doesn't matter what career you choose, as long as you excel in that. So they were very responsive when I told that, I want to take cricket as a profession.
But were you ever disappointed that you couldn't do both? That you couldn't both be a test cricketer and a doctor?
I thought it was very difficult, because if you choose medicine, it's very important that you have single-minded, concentration there, because obviously it requires a lot of hard work, and similar with the cricket also.
And have you forgotten about being a doctor altogether?
Yeah, at present, yes.
At present?
At present.
So there's a chance that sometime in the future you may want to be a doctor again?
Maybe, some university can give me a doctorate, and I can be called as Dr.
So the dream
Laxman.
is only on the back burner, it's not forgotten.
Yeah, not forgotten. But if eventually, I will definitely love to do something in the medical field as well.
Because at the moment you have a job with Indian Airlines.
Yeah, that's right.
So do you see that as a full-time job, or is that just something to keep you occupied when you're not playing cricket?
As of now, it's a full-time job, because obviously, they have employed us, to play cricket for the company, and but they have been a great source of help for me, because they give us an opportunity to play in a lot of tournaments throughout India. So it's definitely a great source of.
But you mentioned that sometime in the future you'd like to do something in the medical field as well. Have you thought about what exactly you'd like to do?
Maybe set up an hospital. I'm very clear that at the end of my career, I would definitely like to set up a hospital in Hyderabad.
Like Imran Khan?
Maybe on those lines. Yeah.
Is it going to be a specialty hospital or a general one?
General hospital. Yeah. Basically to help the poor.
And you see yourself as the administrator and the inspiration behind it?
Exactly, yeah. Because obviously I've got the support of my parents, so they can help me out in that project.
So this is consciously a way of putting back something into the community?
Exactly.
It's a sort of mission, you feel?
Definitely, yes.
Now you're going to be 27 this November, and you're already a big number with the girls. Have you found a Mrs. Laxman?
No, not as yet.
Are you looking for one?
Well, at present I'm just concentrating on my game. If it happens, I'll definitely be happy.
But you're not anxious to get married?
No.
It's not something that has to happen in the next year or 2 years?
Maybe, yes. Maybe by the time I'm 28, yeah, it should be. But at present, I'm more, because we are so busy, traveling and touring, and I think we don't get much time.
Is that the answer, or do you just enjoy being a bachelor?
No, as I told you, I'm just concentrating on my game.
Good luck, Laxman. I'm sure there are lots of girls waiting for you to name the day. You'll probably get applications in the thousands. Yeah. Thank you for a wonderful interview.
Pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Pleasure, sir. Thanks.